Hi, beautiful soul family. I just wanted to get this message down. I've had some information coming through quite strongly over the last few days, and it was topped off by a dream that I had last night. So today is the Thursday, the 20th of September. We're a few days just out of Equinox, or leading into Equinox 2018. And so I guess the message I just wanted to share was kind of an energy update, and also what I'm observing through my work and just reading kind of the collective vibe at present. So I guess from a planetary update, the energy waves tend, in my opinion, have been increasing continually every day. I'm starting to feel the energy come through daily now, which is starting to ripple effect through my body, and I'm starting to feel the high vibrations. A lot of Kundalini activations happening, and this is creating a lot of people needing to rest or lack of sleep. You know, it affects people in different ways depending on our energy and frequency. A lot of need for eating heavy and dense foods, and eating a lot for some people. And the way that I see that is depending on how much light is being filtered and integrated at the time. Sometimes we need denser food to help ground and assimilate the energies. And when we're kind of in a higher state, we don't need as much food, and we have more of a need for less food, or high vibrational food, and more just drinking. Intake is more liquids, water and coconut water and fresh juices and things like that. And this changes, and that's where I say, you know, when you get to a certain point within your own ascension process, all the things that we've been taught about diet kind of go out the window, and that's where I really encourage people to intuitively eat, to really listen to what the body is calling for, and not to have judgment on that. You know, everything in moderation is good. So, you know, that can be challenging for people if you have been, you know, eating one particular way or been taught one particular way. And it's kind of time to, you know, let go of those thoughts, and just, you know, listen to what you need at the time. So that, I guess that's one element that I want to talk about. And yeah, just resting. There's a lot of galactic how do I say, support being called in at this time. I know for me, and a lot of people like me are starting to have sort of nightly visitations of star family and beings who are really helping us through this process, and helping us sort of assimilate and integrate these energies as best that we can, and giving, you know, messages and information and instructions of, you know, what's the next phase and what's to come. And you know, sometimes I'm conscious of this, very conscious of these experiences, and other times I'm just aware that something took place. But when I wake up, it can feel quite disorienting, and I can feel my body try to, you know, and some of the symptoms would be kind of nausea or feeling head pressure. I think a lot of us are having like higher consciousness kind of being rewired at nighttime, which can cause pressure in the third eye and in the crown and in the back of the head. And you know, I always joke, it's like kind of like brain surgery, but it's like consciousness surgery, and it's like a lot of rewiring happening. So, you know, be gentle and easy with yourself, that those symptoms tend to pass. Obviously, if they don't, you know, trust your own intuition and what guidance you take. If you feel that you need to see an expert, obviously do that. So another thing that I want to talk about is what I have been observing through my sessions, and kind of collectively with the twin souls, twin flames. A lot of people are getting to the final phases of their journey. And for other people, they are experiencing plot twists and starting to go through situations where they thought it was one thing or one person. And that tends to not be the case, or, things like doors get closed, and it kind of leaves people feeling lost and confused because they thought things were heading in one direction or it was one person, and then everything kind of changes. And I guess for people who resonate with going through that experience, what I would like to say to that is, like, don't give up the faith and the hope. If you feel that you're on a divine partnership journey, that is part of the journey for some people. Sometimes it can be the most elusive journey, as part of what I experienced over many years. We have different people that come into our life for different reasons, different partners and interactions, and we believe that something is one way for a reason, because that's part of the experience and part of the divine partnership or twin journey. And sometimes those plot twists, even though they feel uncomfortable and uncertain, it is part of the journey. And just to be in the moment and to release expectations and know that if it isn't that person who you thought it was, that's completely okay. Or, it could be, but there is an element of going through, detaching from certain expectations, and that can be a part of it too. So I guess the main message for anyone who's going through something like that is to just have trust and faith in the process, and not to be disillusioned, because if you feel that you're on that path, you certainly are. Just because it's not unfolding how you thought it would doesn't make it any less powerful or important. And so, yeah, just have faith in that it will all certainly unfold as it's meant to. That is what I'm seeing for some people or different soul groups. Others I'm noticing are coming to final phases, final stages of their journey, or for this part, I should say. It's always an ongoing process and journey. But what I'm noticing is that a lot of people are getting to a very intense phase or period. And the way that I see it is that everything that you've gone through with that dynamic up until this point has been preparation. Everything that you've learned, all experiences, the triggers, the love, the uncertainty, everything has, been in a rolling out phase until you get towards the final phase. And it's like all those lessons and experiences and emotions really get built into a highly charged, fast-paced experience to really embody everything that you've learned. And it can feel very intense. It can feel a lot of things come up at once. There's a lot of energy that's releasing out of these pairs. In the work that I do with the energy alignment, a lot of third or joint energy is coming up for release, to really purify the energy vessel as much as possible, and to be able to anchor and receive new codes and new lights. I'm noticing a lot of people starting to integrate, ascension codes and divine partnership codes, and that's really transforming things in a massive way. So another thing that I wanted to mention and talk about was something that came through in the dream last night, and this might resonate for some people, is that a lot of what in some people's dynamic of what happens is that there is an incarnation in preparation for this one. And in that incarnation, you connect through your divine partner and you lay down the prep work. And in most cases, in that previous experience or incarnation, there was not a physical union that took place for a reason. That reason was that the planet wasn't ready to go through its ascension phase, and the unification in physical sense would have created too much energy, would have put the Earth's energy and grids out of balance. And so a lot of people are releasing the trauma around that at the moment, releasing that almost missed opportunity of when it comes almost to that physical unification process and then something goes wrong. And, you know, this can present in a myriad of different scenarios, you know, where maybe one has passed away or, you know, one has chosen someone else. Whatever scenario, it's kind of irrelevant, but I'm noticing that that energy is coming up a lot now for people. And the message that was given to me was that those who've gone through that experience was necessary to lay down preparation to reconnect in this lifetime, to go through this process into full physical unification. And now we're just releasing that energy so people could have doubts and feel disillusioned or feel like it's want to give up or hopeless. Just know that that's an energy and that's a feeling and a resonance, and you got to trust in the process. But the main message was that, you know, in those times, it didn't benefit the collective, it didn't benefit humanity for twins to come together. But now it does, and it does right now for a reason, for a purpose, because it is part of such a minuscule aspect that makes up an entirety for this planetary ascension process. And by coming together physically or after, you know, as we go through this event or ascension process, it's the energy of these pairs that come together that assist to anchor the light and spread that light. And so know that your individual journey through divine partnership is so much more than your individual dynamic. You know, it is a small piece of the entire puzzle. And when we can kind of open up our minds and perspective to see it as a bigger picture, we kind of relax and just move in the flow of that. So there's a lot of people getting geared up to move into the next phase of their shared mission, which is very exciting to see. And people now, you know, other people starting their own individual soul mission in preparation. So wherever you're at, be gentle, be easy with yourself. I'm now starting to offer a double session, which I'll have on the website, and I'll have the details, where you can access an energies, divine partnership energy alignment session with me, and also a strategy session with a divine masculine as a two-part session. And that has been this is something new that's being offered, and it's been incredibly powerful for those who have embarked on taking that, to not only have you know, energy work and then like a physical 3D kind of strategy session, but the energy combined of working with the feminine and masculine energy. So I will leave the details if that's something that you would like to know more about or book. I'll leave the details there. If not, sending you all so much love and beautiful energy, and yeah, looking forward to this next energy wave coming through. Well, every day, but Equinox will certainly be a very special occasion. So As always, sending much cosmic love, and I will connect with you all soon.